deal was this?
Alright, this one's been on my mind for a while, and I finally got enough gumption to say something about it.
You're so old.
Why can't people put their shopping carts away?
Oh, the humanity!
No, that's...
Surely.
I mean, is it really that hard to not set up an obstacle course on your way out of the door to help other people out? Do you really not have 10 to 15 seconds or a minute if you're hurt to put it back where it belongs?
Is this some sort of peasant joke that I'm too rich to understand?
If you guys haven't seen Kellen Erskine's comedy skit on Dry Bar Comedy, I'll drop a link to it in the description below. But I think he puts it perfectly. If you hear part of that skit, he goes off and asking, are you physically and mentally just tapped out and you can't take another step putting your cart away? Is that really where we've reached in society?
You're telling me you can meander 2.5 miles inside Costco, and the moment you get to your vehicle, you're like, not another step.
I mean, I can't really guess what everyone's excuse would be, but I've made a short list of what I think would be at the top, at least. Number 1, you're too busy. Number 2, it's the cart collector's job. Number 3, I'm just giving more work to the cart collector, so it gives them something to do. Or the real reason, number 4, I'm just lazy and don't care. I'd like to take these on one by one, and I know largely this is going to fall on deaf ears, but for those of you out there that can take a little bit of constructive criticism, this is for you.
I was too busy winning.
Okay, I get it. Sometimes your day is just so full you can't get to everything you're hoping for. Singles parents especially, between running their kids to school, going to sporting events, anything afterwards. Sometimes just things don't work in your favor. So what do? One thing you could do, you could pass it off to someone who's entering the store on your way out so they can use it. Or 2, after loading up your vehicle, return it to the cart return. Or number 3, plan ahead. Use online shopping or at-store pickup, and the worker will come and load your car for you. So you don't need to get a cart. The cart will come to you and magically put itself away. If you're living like Brian Regan suggests, and zap-frying your Pop-Tarts to rush out the door in the morning, maybe you're booking yourself just a little too tight. Get a day planner if you're old school, or better yet, set reminders on your phone to help you remember to get stuff done. Pick a day that's less busy to go shopping, if possible, or if you really find it that loathsome to go shopping, send a friend, a kid, or a spouse, where applicable, or you could always, grow up.
I don't want to be a big people anymore. Don't worry.
Yes, stores do hire employees to go collect carts, and yes, that is their job. Depending on where they work, you're either going to be lucky and get an automated cart pusher that can get 50 or so carts or more at a time, but a lot of times all you get is a fabric strap with a hook on it. So depending on how strong you are, that's how many carts you can collect. But all that takes time. So you stop and think about it. If you put your cart away, they don't have to spend as much time going out there to pick them all up. They could spend more time inside the store doing things that you're wanting them to do instead of collecting carts, like being at the checkout stand if you still like to use those instead of self-checkout, or they could zone the aisles so everything looks neat and tidy. Some people care about that more than they'll admit, but they shouldn't have to go out and collect carts the entire time. Granted, they're not going to have an employee out there all day, their entire shift, and that's all they're doing. Maybe I'm wrong, but largely they want their employees to do those other things I mentioned. All the time that they spend collecting those carts adds up. So let's look at how much that 5 to 20 minutes or so adds up over the course of a year. Say a store gets 100 visitors an hour, so every hour little Bobby has to go out and collect 100 carts. Say he's been there for a while, so he's got the process down and he can really zip and get those carts collected. So being generous, I'd say 30 to 60 minutes, based on if he has a strap or a motorized collector. Now let's add 5 to 20 minutes to cleaning up those carts that people left for Bobby, so now it's 35 to 80 minutes. Bobby works for 4 to 8 hours for a shift, so instead of spending half of his shift collecting carts, 2 to 4 hours, it now takes 2.25 to 10 hours, potentially his entire shift or more, assuming he's going out every hour, so they have to send another employee out to help him. Now let's say he makes $10 an hour for the sake of easy math, so the store is spending $22.50 to $100 a day for Bobby to collect carts instead of $20 to $40. So that's an extra $2.50 to $20 per day they could be spending to have him zone aisles, work a cash register, or restock. But since he's tied up for that extra time, they must hire at minimum one additional employee to do those things that Bobby could be doing instead of just doing manual labor. there's another $40 to $80 a day for another worker to do the things Bobby can't, since he's tied up picking up after you. Now, just looking at the hourly wage and looking at the average working days in a year, according to a quick Google search, 260 days a year, which doesn't include holidays or vacations, should Bobby be so lucky to get some extra time off when he needs it. So in a year, with 260 working days, just for his wage, that's $10,400 to $20,800 a year, and $650 to $5,200 a year is spent on having one guy collect carts. Or if the store hired another employee, that's another $1,040 to $2,800 a year to keep them employed. That could be split up to buy additional carts to replace old janky ones people have mangled or just through normal wear and tear. Carts can cost anywhere from $150 to $1,200 plus, depending on where they can get them, or if they're custom built specifically for that store. They could give Bobby a raise. Offsetting the overhead costs the store accrues over the course of a year, taxes, electricity, water, waste, other employees, having enough stock so people can buy what they want, need, etc. Obviously that's oversimplified to make a point, but does that make sense?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Don't nobody understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, man.
Well, for those of you who just don't care, then I don't think there's anything I could really say to change your mind. But if I were to make an attempt, let's look at it this way.
Hey. What do you want? Do you have any clean carts around here? Don't they pay you to sanitize those things and put them away? Oh, I was waiting for Steve to do that. It's his turn. Well, where is he? Well, maybe he's on a 15 too. Should have been back by now. Well, can't you just go find him, or better yet, get up yourself and help me? Nah, I don't feel like it. Why don't you just carry your stuff in your arms, and maybe by the time you come back, there'll be some carts available for your day. Well, if I go collect everything, I won't need a cart by the end, because I'll already paid for everything and be on my way out the door. Yeah, I suppose that's right, yeah. Then what's the point of doing that? Yeah, gee, there isn't one, is there? You're so smart. Well, I'm going to finish my 15. Off with you now.
Probably wouldn't want to stick around there very long, would you? They probably wouldn't stay in business very long either, right? I mean, the point I'm trying to make here is that if you want to see a change, make a change in yourself. Why would anyone else change if you're not willing to either? I mean, this is a bit of an extreme example, but people stop doing one thing, they'll stop doing another, and it keeps clustering until nothing gets done. And we'll expect someone else to do it, but eventually we'll run out of someone else's to pick up the slack after us. If only there was a real-world example of that.
Your booze mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Guess not.
You serious?
What it all comes down to is one little change at a time can make the world a better place. You're not being asked to eat an elephant whole, just one bite at a time. So let's start by putting your
Language.
What it all comes down to is one little change at a time can make the world a better place. It's fantastic.